like if you listen to the raw recording with all four going at once, it sounds super fucking trippy because it's like they're all just slightly. Jesus Christ.
Holy shithole! Let's get the living fuck out of it.
So that's when they lock it down.
Oh, man, that was awesome.
Welcome back to episode 2 of Beer Guts Sports Nuts. I am Brett Stakey with Trevor Schaaf, Kramer Apgar, Zach Bishop, and today we have an exciting episode. We're doing a new thing called Beer of the Week. We're going to cover the NFL championship games of the conference, and we're going to talk about some of the quarterback changes coming to the NFL next year. We're going to cover that McGregor fight. We'll also go back into the BS Conspiracy Corner, and we will recap our bets and make some new bets for week 2. Here we go.
We're introducing a new segment. Just going to have a little beer of the week. And this week, we've got a Saison Brett from Boulevard. Limited release. They come out, every once in a while. Maybe once a year, twice a year.
4 years.
Yeah, something like that.
They get opened every 4 years.
Sitting on 5. This one's actually from 2016, so it little aged, if you will. But just go ahead and give it a taste and see what you cheers. Taste aged.
Tastes a little edge.
Oh.
No, the slight skunk adds to the flavor.
Tastes like Blue Moon, sort of, but
A little bit
worse.
like the end of the keg Blue Moon.
Yeah. It's been left out overnight.
It smells better
Or for
than it
4
tastes.
years.
We'll have to give this one a try again when it's the 2021 batch,
There we go.
not the 2016.
Yeah, we gave her hell.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, boys, I must say I'm heartbroken. Like I said, Packers in the Super Bowl. I'm not a believer, of course. I didn't follow the goddamn system, and I paid the ultimate price. I did not stick to my system of betting against the Packers. Actually, I bet on them at halftime. I took the odds and got kicked in the nuts for doing so. It was a rough weekend for your boy.
So how much did you lose overall?
Well, I haven't done the math yet. I think it's just a smooth 200.
Yeah, they got 100 plus 100.
Yeah, I think it's. Try not to think about it.
You don't have that many fingers to count.
Right. Run out, even with the toes.
So what happened? What happened there?
It sucked because even though they were kind of got off to a slow start and got down, shooting themselves in the foot right before halftime with the Rodgers pick, which was honestly a nice play from the defender. And then Tom Brady goated us, got in the end zone, which, I don't know what who's our defensive coordinator? I don't know what the play call was or where the mind was at there playing single high safety, one-on-one on the outside. They must have thought that they're just going to run like something quick to the outside to set up the field goal, but we got burned. And then the fumble right away out of halftime was another kick in the nuts. But we turned it around. Tom Brady starts throwing picks left and right. I'm getting fired up. I'm throwing punches like I'm, not McGregor, but
maybe a Dustin Poirier.
Yeah, maybe a Dustin Poirier. I'm getting pumped, but we don't turn them into points. And then, honestly, at the end, I know there's a lot of hate going on for this field goal, but I don't love the decision to kick the field goal, obviously, but I don't think it's as horrendous of a decision as everybody's making it out to be. Because, Tom Brady still gets the ball no matter what. Even in the best case scenario where you get in the end zone, which that's a hard 4th and goal. 8 yards, 4th and goal. Safeties don't have to worry about anything over the top. Like that's tough to convert.
Sure.
I'm against you. I don't know. I'm 100% against that.
Yeah, okay. So let me say I am against it, but I don't think some people are saying like, oh, it's the worst, like one of the worst coaching decisions in history, right? And I don't think it's that excessive.
Right behind Marshawn Lynch.
No,
not giving him the ball.
I don't think it's the same at all.
The ironic thing is they said their percentage of the chance to win or whatever was a difference of like 1%.
Yeah, it's like
if he went
1%.
for it or not.
So I think it's just getting blown out of proportion because it was a high profile decision, right? Because it's like, I mean, no matter what, the odds of winning are pretty slim. And like you said, the AI says there's a 1% win probability difference. I do think, if you got Aaron Rodgers, you'd like to trust him there. But I mean, your one penalty, which I do think should have been called. I mean, at a minimum, it was holding, right? The fistful of jersey. But you're one penalty away from Aaron Rodgers having the ball back with like a minute and a half and a chance to get a touchdown to win. And in that situation, I'm a happy camper if we do get that. But
Right.
I think the game was lost before that decision. So I think that's what makes it not a all-time bad coaching decision.
Well, my problem with it is you're down by 8 with 2 minutes left in the game. And sure, I think two things. One, Rodgers should have ran it.
Yeah.
Third and goal, he had a wide open lane. Even if he doesn't get there, you put yourself in a 4th and goal from the 3 compared to a 4th and goal from the 8.
Mm-hmm.
And like Roger said after the game, he said, if I would have known we were going to be kicking up, probably because he called that third down play.
I think there was.
He goes, if I would have known that we were going to be kicking a field goal, I would have called something else or would have done something different.
Exactly. I think there was a communication mishap.
So even with them not getting that third down, that being incomplete, it's 4th and 8 with 2 minutes and 6 seconds left, 2 minutes, 8 seconds left, whatever it was. Like at that point, there's 2 minutes left and you're giving the ball back to Brady.
Mm-hmm.
You don't kick a field goal. Like at that point, if you think you can stop him, why not go and try to score a touchdown? Because your only chance of getting the ball back is to stop him.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to stop him either way. Why not go for the tie at least?
Right.
And give yourself the
If
best
you're
chance
going to
to win.
stop him, I'd rather try and stop him at the 5-yard line than at the 25.
Right. Because you're going to have to score a touchdown on the next possession anyway.
Yeah.
So why not give yourself 2 chances to score a touchdown instead of just 1?
And it's like you didn't have to stop Tom Brady from scoring. You had to stop him from just getting 1 first down.
Right.
And,
which you would have to do if you missed that 4th down.
And I think Aaron Rodgers, he missed a lot of open throws. There was Lazard and a couple other guys that were wide open sometimes. It's like, what are you doing?
It definitely felt like he was trying to force the ball to Adams at times. Like there was one where Lazard was open, streaking across the goal line. And he tried to force it to Adams in the back, who almost made a really good play, but he was like
Valdez
a foot out of bounds.
Scantley, that one, he was like double teamed. And Lazard was on the outside.
Yeah.
But
when he dropped passes.
And this is it's all easy to say, from the sidelines and, in hindsight when you're not, playing the game. That Bucs defense is fucking fast. They're everywhere. And they're putting pressure on Rodgers all day. Like even in the first half, like Rodgers' numbers looked pretty good, but that wasn't like what the eye test was telling me. Like it felt like he was running for his life, every single down, but he was still like 12 for 13 for like 150 yards early on. I'm like, that it doesn't feel like he's putting up that kind of game. It feels way more scuffed than that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm heartbroken because I finally bought in and then got just as Aaron said, just got gutted. And it's gutted.
Not used to being on that side of it.
When you're him though, you're Aaron Rodgers. You need to go for that. You should tackle the kicker, get him off the field.
Well,
that's my game. I'm gonna score.
And if you ever see Mahomes on a 4th down that he wants to go for it, he's literally looking over at Andy Reid yelling at him, "No, get him off. Give me the next play."
The great ones want the ball.
Jackson.
I know for a fact Tom Brady would say, "No, we're going."
Lamar Jackson does the same thing.
Yeah. And I do think, probably Rodgers could have done more there. I think he must have just been surprised that they weren't considering it 4-down territory from the get-go no matter what. Right? Maybe he just was caught by surprise.
He said himself he knew it wasn't going to be 4-down territory. Because if he thought it was going to be going for it on 4th down, he was going to run it. So he says. That's why is he really that good?
That's a whole other conversation.
I think he is that good. But
should we move it to the other game that transpired?
You mean the greatest game, the greatest of games?
I don't remember LeBron.
I was kind of heartbroken.
Oh, were you
on the Buffalo game?
Didn't realize you were a diehard Bills fan there, Trevor.
Did they really Did they rename
No,
the
he just
street
likes
back?
ruining tables.
Absolutely.
Speaking of, did you guys see the video of the Bills fan going to jump off the truck onto the table?
And he nailed his face.
Yeah, just
that was
completely
before the game. That was
completely
before the game.
missed the table.
They also had one
With
at
the upper
the
half of
end
his body.
where it was like they were playing taps in the background and they touch the table and they walk away after the game launch.
Well, and
They never lose a tailgate.
towards the end of that fourth quarter, obviously the Bills had like a 0.1% chance to win. But I was kind of interested. I mean, there was a while there I was like, well, crap, they might come back. And yet the Bills players just decided to fight everybody and kind of screw themselves out of it.
Yeah,
Well,
that's true.
the first onside kick completed since 2014
In a championship game.
Yeah.
in championship game.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I thought it was like
No, never.
And honestly, the second onside kick was looking pretty good too.
Yeah.
They got
it hit off his. That was a wicked bounce.
He
Hit
got it
right in his
barely.
face.
Well, so
That would have been nuts if he would have got that one.
Mhm.
so as a Chiefs fan, all I've been hearing the past 10 weeks since week 8 when we blew the Jets out was that the Chiefs aren't really that good. The Chiefs aren't covering spreads. That's what everyone's been talking about for the past
I won't shut up. About it.
however many weeks. and honestly, it feels to me like a team that knew who they were as a team, knew what they were, and ended up just trying new things, playing different guys that hadn't played a ton, trying different formations, running different plays to see what works and what doesn't, and because they didn't want to show their hand. I mean, Andy Reid honestly, he's probably run the same play, but he runs it 7 different ways.
Yeah.
So hiding those formations. I mean, everyone was keying in on the Tyreek Hill 1-yard pass from Chad Henne last week against the Browns.
Then
And
go to Williams.
yeah, and then they ran that same little type where Tyreek was a distraction and Williams was wide open in the flat. And so just like little things like that, like I don't know, just like starting from the beginning when Mecole fumbled the punt and they picked it up and scored the next play, 2 plays later, whatever it was.
They missed that extra point.
Yeah,
Can I just throw something in real quick?
absolutely.
So just so you know, the last time old Patty Mahomes, the future GOAT, lost by more than one possession, it was in Ames, Iowa, which I heard has a crazy crowd. I was there.
Oh my God.
They lost 66-10 to Iowa State. So I'm asking one thing. If the Chiefs were meeting up with Iowa State Cyclones in the Super Bowl, I think it might be a blowout going to Cardinal and gold, not red and yellow. Not mustard and ketchup. So just a hot take. Just remember.
The hottest of takes.
I hate to bring us back to reality, but I think you got a good point with maybe Andy Reid saving some of his best wrinkles for the big games. And I think the Chiefs, I kind of get the vibe from them that they're a team that, rises to the moment, and it kind of goes both ways, right? When it's a game that doesn't seem to have a lot on the line, they seem to play to that level a little bit, but then the flip side is they know how to turn it on in games like this. And honestly, I mean, they're also, as the defending champs, you're getting everybody's best shot
Right.
all throughout
Yeah.
the season. So they're going to take all those licks and still come out on top.
And their offense is almost impossible. If you get a 3 and out against the Chiefs, that's really rare.
Mhm.
Even just holding them to a field goal, that's pretty rare. And
Tyreek Hill's a cheat code.
as much as I
It was-
want to dislike Mahomes, if he plays a full career as long as like Tom Brady, he'll definitely probably beat the greatest.
Right. I had some ideas for it might end up being a hot take segment in the future. But
Yeah.
I think when you get more players like Mahomes, they get a full year in this modern era that have that, dynamic ability to pass and run. I think people are going to start forgetting about some of the legends of old, and it's just because the game's, I think, just going to change so much, and they're just going to blow the accomplishments out of the water. I think Tom Brady will still be remembered just because of the rings and the dominance, but
Yeah.
I think the game's going to change.
Just for Mahomes to get up in the GOAT status, he has to go to at least 6 Super Bowls,
Yeah. Well,
which is still insane.
Well, he's in his third year, and he's one offsides call away from going to 3 straight. So he's in his third year starting, not third year, but third year starting. He's gotten to 3 FC championships and 2 Super Bowls. And if D Ford would have jumped off sides in 2018 against the Patriots, against Brady, he would have went to 3 straight.
the luckiest of all time, some would say.
But he goes to 6 straight. Tom Brady still has won 6.
No, yeah, and again, it's at this point in his career, nobody's done what he's done.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, Mahomes wouldn't be Mahomes without Andy Reid.
And
I don't think anybody would deny that.
we were talking earlier. I think Mahomes. I feel like he's going to get injured, and that might kind of turn it.
He just reminds me. Go ahead.
What's your?
He plays dangerous. He plays.
I think he'll start to. I think after his 2, we'll call them major in quotes injuries, is the fake concussion against the Browns.
Which it was strange.
But it was just a pinch nerve that wobbled him.
Well, I mean, he came out this week and threw for over 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. So I think if he was concussed, he probably wouldn't have done that.
He was back to himself for sure.
I don't know, because look at some of these fighters that get concussed every time they fight.
Yeah, but then they don't fight for 6 months.
And they're still doing stuff.
Yeah.
No, but the next round, they're still doing stuff.
Well, yeah, at that point, it's all adrenaline.
Fighting on instinct.
Yeah. So, I mean, I see, as long as Andy and Mahomes stick together, as long as Andy keeps coaching. I mean, honestly, another big thing is he's not making money this year and he's not making money next year. The big money comes in the year after.
The cap hits.
Yeah. So at that point, Kelsey's going to be a little bit older. Tyreek's under contract, so he'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
But he's going to have to be able to replace weapons. So as long as the Chiefs can draft decently, I mean, that's all you need is to draft decently, or try to attract free agents that.
And if you keep Reed, a guy that can scheme like that, he can turn. I feel like he can game plan use to maximize raw talent, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Which honestly, with you saying that makes me feel like drafting Clyde Edwards-Helaire this year was a bit of a mistake. I liked the pick the first half of the season, but then seeing him get hurt, and then Darrell Williams comes in, who's a nobody, an undrafted dude out of LSU, comes in and he's doing the same exact thing. He rushed for over 100 yards like one of the games that Helaire was hurt. So you have a guy like that that's undrafted, comes in, does the same thing. As long as you have a guy that's smart enough and understands and can block and do all the things that Andy needs him to do, then
well, anybody who is around better talent, it just plays better no matter what sport you play.
Absolutely.
So I think that's another one. Also, just draft LSU running backs, apparently.
LSU or Alabama.
Anymore, outside of like 1 or 2 really top guys, running backs are plug and play a lot of times.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you want to talk about wasted draft picks. Talking about trading up for Jordan Love, who didn't even suit up all season.
Well, he's
instead of getting somebody that can start and make a difference. But that's
what they said. I mean, they said
Henry.
They said the same thing about Rodgers though when Favre was there.
True, but I think Rodgers, his window's closing, and he's more. It's a little bit different than the Favre conversation because he's more efficient. Like you don't have the picks, right? And I mean, he just put up the most efficient season, I think, or second most efficient behind his other record.
And the other 2 behind him.
Yeah. And it's just kind of like, you're coming off an NFC championship game where you didn't have the best performance against the 49ers. Maybe you're 1 or 2 weapons away. You run out of window time with them. Like, take the shot now. Like, and this is from a fan's perspective. I'm sure it's different. Front office wise, like you gotta think longer term. I get that, but it's just tough. Like I think everybody in Green Bay wants to see Rodgers get another ring before curtains come, or he goes the Brett Favre route and goes to the Jets or some shit.
You say the long term thing, but now it's just like the one and dones. Everyone's about the 1-year contract. You get the star player for $1 million a year, and then run with them. So maybe that's what Green Bay needs to do with
and it'll
kind
be
of plug and play with a few here and there.
I'm hoping they give it a shot this year. I think because Rodgers is kind of coming up on that year of the contract where the cap hit is going to hurt. So hopefully they kind of sign him to a new deal, restructure that, move the cap hit out, and then try to get 1 or 2 more guys around him. And like, I feel good about this team. I feel more like the Packers beat themselves than the Bucs beat the Packers. So it's like, I feel like you probably have like realistically 2 solid years of window left, and it's like, make the move now, because it's not often that a franchise goes from a Favre to a Rodgers to another one. Like that's a tall ask. So it's the window's closing. Take the shot.
Yeah.
I say.
Yeah, I think the Packers and the Colts are the only teams that have actually done that. Just had 30 plus years of great quarterbacks.
Right. That's unheard of. So it's like,
do you draft a quarterback now? This next, just to sit behind him, just to sit behind him.
Loves your guy because you traded up for him.
Yeah.
So if at this point, you got to keep cultivating love.
Where's he from?
All right, you hit me.
Yeah, exactly.
What is love?
Yeah.
Baby, don't hurt me.
Utah State.
Oh yeah,
Utah State.
that's too bad.
I do think, kind of going back to Patrick Mahomes, though, I think he's skilled enough, and I hate saying all this, but I think he's definitely skilled enough to make like a guy, for example, like John Ross, who sucked for the Bengals and is really fast. He could make them into a Tyreek Hill-esque wide receiver just because he always throws right perfect, and he makes the right throws where they probably are wide open. Yeah.
I agree.
And I don't know how much, Tom Brady got a lot of crap about Belichick and him being the only reason he won, but I can see Mahomes being skilled enough where it's not just Patrick or not just Andy Reid.
We got to go the Madden route. When I would, I was going to say NCAA recruit or draft. I drafted who was the fastest player. The rest will come in.
Right.
And honestly, and that's what the Chiefs have been doing.
Yeah, I mean, with Tyreek and Mecole, 2 of the fastest dudes in the league, and obviously Kelsey just finding space in the middle. It's those guys being able to run crisp routes. I mean, Tyreek's way better than Mecole is, obviously, but just seeing those guys evolve as receivers and finding their spots and being able to read defenders and put themselves in the right positions, and then the combination of that and Patrick knowing when to actually throw the ball is
that's a strain on a defense, especially. You have to have a guy up top because you're going to get beat no matter what corner you have. He's going to run right by him.
Right.
Got to have the safety. So 2 guys are done. Mahomes can make time, and I don't even know what the odds are, but having 5 seconds to get the ball out rather than a normal 2 or 3.
Right.
That is killer for somebody who runs a 4.3.
And most receivers that you see, even if it's a 5-yard pass, they have 5 yards of no one near them. And Tyreek Hill off the line is stupid.
Yeah.
Fast. I don't even know how.
Yeah. So much separation.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see, what are you guys' I know what your opinion is on the Super Bowl, but honestly, I don't know what to expect. I think I got to go back to respecting the Chiefs, but I'm not gonna lie. I want Sue and David to get their rings, but it's tough to see. It's tough to see them being able to stop a dynamic offense like that as consistently as. I don't know. They played so well the last couple of games, but it's 4 turnovers against Breeze, and then the Packers beating themselves with. I mean, they did get timely turnovers again too. I'm kind of torn, but it's hard to bet against the Chiefs.
And that's like the last time they played. It was 3-point game. And Tony Romo did call it. He said, "I won't be surprised if these 2 are in the Super Bowl."
Yeah,
which I thought for Tampa Bay's side, I was like, "Well,
that was bold
let's
at the
see."
moment for Tampa Bay. Yeah,
You want to talk about bold moments? Last year, Tom Brady put on Instagram or something like, "I'm not wearing a blazer to next year's Super Bowl." He wasn't even.
Yeah.
I think we didn't even know he wasn't going to be on the Patriots at that point.
Yeah. Or when you go to a team with 2,000-yard receivers, and then you pick up Antonio Brown, and then you get Gronk, and then you already have one of the best defenses in the league. Yeah, it's an easier path than what the Patriots have.
You finally get a quarterback that is smart with it. I would even say he has the best arm, even though he looked pretty good.
Jameis is future Hall of Famer. Jameis Winston.
Yeah, he got LASIK. He's the future. Future of the Saints.
He's the next Brett Favre.
And
49 TDs, 49 interceptions.
When you think about Jameis, you think about IQ. He is the smartest guy in the field. He's going to outsmart you clearly. And whatever's left, he'll out-talent you.
especially that 1 year of understudy under Breeze. He's going to come out swinging. I'm curious. I don't know what the Saints do next year. Do they go into this quarterback carousel that we may talk about here in a while, or are they?
I just
Taysom Hill Wildcat to death.
I think. Well, go ahead, Drew.
I don't think you go against Taysom Hill because he started 2 games this year and killed it.
He did not.
I thought he did.
He won, but after this first game, they figured him out, and he ended up throwing for like 50-something yards.
So he was like the Kaepernick of
Well, he got a lot of points in fantasy because he was still considered a tight end too.
That first week
he started him at tight end and he was the quarterback.
Played quarterback.
Well, I'm screwed.
That's funny.
But no, I think the play is keep Taysom Hill as your Swiss Army knife, if you will, and then
what is that in there?
I don't know, what is it?
It's like
it's a little bit of 2016.
Take a look.
Back before we didn't have to wear masks. Oh, it looks like a.
I don't know.
I think it's on the glass, actually.
So I've been drinking out of that the whole time.
It builds characters.
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna finish this beer.
Can I get a?
They didn't sponsor us, so.
Can I get a Busch Light to wash it down?
No. You can have 2.
Good.
We're talking about the Saints. What if they pick up Stafford or
Right.
or Watson? Because I could see that happening.
I did see him listed as a destination.
Do you think the Steelers will be a destination at all with Big Ben?
I think they are.
I do too.
I think they are. I think them.
Also,
So
Big
Saints-
Ben's leaving too, isn't he?
Well, he's
Not
more than
negotiating.
likely.
Yeah.
Rolling out of there.
Well, and Phyllis Rivers,
Yeah.
the Colts.
So like Colts are a hot one. There's speculation on the Patriots, Broncos, Saints, and
The Bears should try to get him.
Bears. Yeah, Bears.
Bears. And especially if we're talking about Deshaun Watson, the Jets have been tied to him just because they're one of 2 teams, them and the Dolphins, with 2 draft picks in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
So they've already got 2 draft picks, and if you throw in Sam Darnold, maybe 1 or 2 other pieces, that could be a destination. And I think the Jets said something on Twitter or something, and Deshaun Watson was like, "Hey, all right, Jets."
Because you did say Jets were a destination for him.
Yeah.
I mean,
And he was fine with that?
Yeah.
Hey.
I think he would rather be in any place than Houston.
Well, and I think there's a coaching connection. I don't remember the details, but I think somebody that Deshaun used to play for is either the offensive coordinator or the new coach of the Jets. Am I just pulling shit on my ass?
Yes, so is Urban Meyer full set on Trevor Lawrence then?
I think you'd be dumb not to.
Yeah.
I don't think you have any other option. I mean, who else are you going to take?
What's his contract? How many years?
Who, Urban?
Yeah.
I believe it was 6.
6 years?
Yeah.
So then Trevor, if it was like a stupid little 3-year contract or something, I would go for one of the veterans.
No, I think at that point, because you've got a few weapons on the outside. I wouldn't call them weapons because they're still young and not necessarily proven. But if you don't have a quarterback, you don't have anything.
They've Gardner Minshew.
I'll repeat that. If you don't have a quarterback, you don't have anything.
But he's so cool.
I'm so sad. Yeah.
Yeah, the stash is falling out.
No, whoa.
He is the Blue Mountain State.
Hold the
Yeah.
hearsay.
Yeah,
Backup quarterback, cool as hell.
It's sort of like
Just
I like that
that's it.
take.
a white trash Baker Mayfield almost.
Isn't Baker kind of white trash though?
Well, yeah, but
But even more so.
another fun thing, old Gardner only beat Iowa State by 1 point.
Oh my gosh.
I don't remember it because I was blacked out.
So you're saying Gardner Minshew is better than Patty Mahomes?
technically, actually. He's about 57 points better than Patrick Mahomes, allegedly.
Allegedly.
But no, I mean, I think if you're Urban Meyer, yeah, you definitely take Trevor Lawrence. You're not going to take any other weapons. You're not going to take an offensive lineman number 1 overall. I mean, there's a few defensive guys, but still,
Because even if you don't,
there's nobody.
Trade the pick for more other picks.
Yeah. So I mean, at that point, if you trade the number 1 pick to the Jets to get their 2 first rounds, but I doubt the Jets do that because they need a lot of help.
I don't think that would be a popular move at all.
Have you not seen Draft Day? That's what they did. And then the number one quarterback dropped down and they still...
You're talking about that fictional movie Draft Day?
It's about the Browns.
Wow.
I thought that was real. They're about to win the Super Bowl. That was based in 2021.
With the Browns, you don't know what's true or what's false. They're all over the place.
It's an enigma.
But also, I think for that stance, I think, yeah, you definitely take Trevor Lawrence number one.
Mm.
But, I mean, talking about, the quarterbacks that are on the move, Deshaun Watson, Matt Stafford.
Yeah, I think latest I saw was Stafford was eyeing the Broncos, I think.
So it's not really up to him. I'm sure he might have some sort of say in it, but
It depends on what they're able to get trade-wise
Sure.
for him. But,
sure. Yeah, I
know Colts was speculated.
I think honestly, if I was Stafford, I 100% would, of the teams available, I'd go to the Colts. Yeah, they don't really have a true number one receiver, but they have a really good defense.
Right.
And they can pick up, they still have a first round pick this year.
They're instant
Pick up a weapon.
contenders with Stafford or Deshaun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which in Deshaun is not going to the Colts. And that's a guarantee. They're not going to trade interdivision.
Right.
How old is Stafford?
I don't know.
32, I think.
Texans have been mismanaged for the last number of years.
And they got rid of their management.
Yeah.
They managed this mismanagement very well by getting rid of them.
Was it Bill O'Brien was probably like the highlight of that whole staff?
He had the
In retrospect?
best butt chin you've ever seen, though.
He was
He had a donk on his chin.
so.
What are his measurements?
It was Kardashian-esque.
But yeah, so
I'd be curious to see. I am confident Aaron Rodgers is staying in Green Bay. I think his emotionally charged comments given 15 minutes after a gutting loss were looked a little too far into, but
Yeah.
So what happens when Tom Brady retires after his 7th Super Bowl win? I don't think that's that much of a hot take.
It's not, but it makes me
So he's
laugh.
playing for a few more years?
Oh,
Yeah. I like that one. Okay.
Moving on to
The fights.
the fights. Let me pull up. I'll pull up the card.
Prop 12. That was a terrible act.
Drink proper 12.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing, though. McGregor looked a lot more comfortable and looked like he was winning the fight until we rewatched it.
Oh,
After he got-
absolutely.
I thought, was it Poirier or Poirier?
It's Poirier. Poirier.
Poirier.
Leave it to Zach to nail pronunciation for us.
Pronunciation.
Thank you.
I like
Thank
it.
you. I appreciate that.
No, because I was nervous. I tried to put money on it, but it was too late.
Well, and weren't you like 50 beers down?
No, I
He would have won.
I'm saying 50 beers, not dollars.
no, not beers. I had Captain.
Even
It's about a gallon of Captain.
And then you started the morning. Oh, wait, that was the next day. We had
the next day, yeah, we had a lot of mimosas.
Yeah, I mean, I think Poirier showed a strong chin, so it's like, I thought he was getting, the stuff that Conor was landing, I thought was a lot more impactful live on the first watch than I think it really ended up being. I think Poirier ate that stuff well. And then
Oh, yeah.
when he finally landed a counter punch on the nose, I don't know if it's like was a conditioning thing for Conor, but he did not eat it well, and then he got caught in that flurry.
I think, I was drinking a little bit. I'm pretty sure I commented in the first round, it's like, he keeps getting that counter left hook on McGregor. He was hitting him, and then he finally caught him.
I think
Maybe I was just thinking.
his leg. Did you see McGregor's leg after the next day? He had like a giant bruise the size of like a football, and you could see it in his pants. Like
Poirier was chopping the tree down with those
Yeah.
leg kicks.
because normally McGregor only has a lump in his pants when he's weighing in, but
Or when,
this time,
or when he's walking out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude had a hog. But walking out of the tunnel and just hogging. Just straight hogging.
McGregor wants to do a trilogy, a third fight, I guess, against Poirier.
Well, he said
Yeah, is it gonna,
He really does
are
respect the guy.
they going to wait 6 years to do it again, though?
Hopefully.
No, absolutely not. Well, no, because Poirier wants to be contender.
He deserves. If Khabib comes back, he deserves a shot at Khabib.
Right.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
But he even said, like, maybe we do this a third time. Poirier said that.
Yeah.
Even in the post.
No, he said we need to do this a third time.
Yeah, they're both on board for doing it.
Yeah. Oh, best out of 3. And he's mad that he lost the first one.
I think anybody that loses would be mad.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's still getting to him. Like, he's still mad. Like, when I still get mad about things.
That's completely the same. I understand.
Yeah, when we watched it live, it literally looked like Conor was just dominating the entire fight. Like, the first round and second round was like Conor's dominating.
Yeah. I think it's just his Poirier's.
Well, and I think what it is was that the strikes that Conor was landing looked way more impactful than the stuff that Poirier was landing. So whenever we went back, or we finished the fight and said significant strikes, I think it was 96. It was or
66, I think.
Yeah, 66. It was
40 or something.
Yeah, it was way in Poirier's favor.
Yeah.
And from that point, it was I got it right here actually. It was significant strikes was 48 to 29. So 48, that's quite a bit.
It just brought me back to me rewinding it and trying to count his strikes. And counting all the misses.
That's where the scalpel captain came in.
Well, I think those body shots, especially in UFC, they get kind of overlooked instead of the straight up to the face one.
Oh, yeah.
Where that leg one, he probably was like, God, my legs kill me.
Right.
But nobody sees that.
They
unless
slow
you're
you
really
down so much.
For sure.
Well, his movement, or Poirier's movements when he was getting hit, also looked worse. And he was also showing like he was shaking it off, but it just looked awkward.
Yeah.
And McGregor was just kind of eating him.
I think on the first watch, I thought he was trying to sometimes fighters kind of try to oversell how much that didn't hurt him.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
I got kind of that vibe. I'm like, oh, he's getting rocked, but he's just trying not to show it. But then on the rewatch, I'm like, you know what? I think he actually was just
a tough ass dude.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I will say real quick, shout out to Dan Hooker and the best stanky leg I've ever seen on an undercard fight. That shit was awesome. Yeah. Forever my hero. Dude.
Yeah.
Mullet out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, every single one of those fights that we watched was we started watching halfway through the prelims, and from there on, every single one of those fights was amazing.
Probably best fight card altogether. I would say.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not singling out any fight, they were all tough, and honestly, all of the fights, any one of them could have won, except maybe one or two you could see the other one had an edge, but the rest of them was kind of up in the air.
They were good card.
Yeah. So that was Andrew the Mullet Sanchez with the stanky leg.
Oh, was it?
It was.
Oh, I got my fights mixed up. Well, Andrew the Mullet
Sanchez.
My new favorite fighter.
Yeah.
Well, let's not get carried away.
Yeah.
Respect what he put out there.
You just want to say Hooker.
I did.
Well, Michael Chandler, 34 years old, coming into the UFC first fight, and he just makes a name for himself and calls out Conor, calls out Khabib, calls out Poirier.
Oh, yeah, he beat the shit out of him, too.
Yeah, and Hooker was number 6, I think. Number 6 in the rankings, and comes out and gets throttled.
Don't get me wrong.
Immediately.
I can't hate a guy for trying to make a name for himself and get those shots, but there's no way he should jump off the rankings like that and get those shots right away.
Well, he came in from a different...
He beat the number 6 contender pretty handily.
He came into the UFC from another organization, and he's like, all right, I'm here. I showed what I did. Obviously, he's not going to go get Khabib tomorrow or the next fight, but give him another contender, put a number next to his name, and let him go.
He's probably got 2 contenders till he gets there.
I think
1 to 2. 1 or 2.
No, absolutely.
So depending on
I think he has
if Khabib comes back.
I think he's got one more fight against a known player, a known fighter, and then he's got to get a guy like Poirier or Conor. Honestly,
he probably gets that rematch.
I think Chandler and McGregor should be that should be the next fight. I would love to see that because Conor's going to drop after losing that fight. Conor's going to drop.
I'd rather see the rematch of Poirier first.
But Poirier's going to have to fight. He's not going to fight McGregor immediately.
He wants Khabib to come back.
Khabib has to come back.
Has to.
If he wants to
start paying these guys, they don't have to do shit. It's going to go box Floyd Mayweather or some shit.
How long can you stay out?
Brother.
Yeah.
How long can you stay out of the?
Like McGregor said, it's not a business you can get out of and just jump right back into.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying before you lose your title. How long before you lose the title?
I don't know.
No.
But either way, it's you're not going to sit around and wait for him. You're gonna get the title, or like you're going to fight for the title. Actually, fight for the title, or Khabib's coming back. So one of those things.
If Khabib's not coming back, I want 1 and 2 to fight.
I think you're putting too much emphasis on these bogus UFC rankings.
Yeah,
I don't think
it's all opinionated.
Yeah, I don't think the rankings carry as much weight, and I mean in fighting, it's all like, what's the biggest draw? It's not necessarily,
Right.
1, 2. It's personality selling that business.
Yeah,
so
that's
like,
why
It's the next 2 contenders. If Khabib doesn't come back, then the next 2 need to fight out who gets the belt.
Well, it's probably Poirier and Conor again. That's what they said. That's what Poirier said himself in the post fight. He said, if Khabib doesn't come back, we probably do it a third time, and that's who gets the belt. That's what Poirier said.
I don't know if I agree with that though, even though it might happen.
Even though the guy that is in the UFC, and arguably one of the best ones, said it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not saying they wouldn't fight, but whoever wins gets the belt would be. He thought he got the belt there.
If Khabib's committed to staying retired, fighting's a brutal business. Like, once you get your bag and you've proven you're the best at your division, and you retire, like, unless you need the money, there's not a lot of incentive to come out and get your face beaten in.
Yeah, they don't think there's enough money.
25 minutes,
like boxers.
Well, I mean, Conor came back. Like Conor was number 1 in 2 weight divisions, and then left and went and boxed.
Mm-hmm.
He had no incentive to come back.
They changed weight classes.
He made more money in that fight than he did in the UFC.
Right.
And any of his UFC fights.
I think part of it for Conor, this is complete speculation on my part, but I think there's like an ego factor for Conor, right? So he's up there as like in the competition, like best fighters of all time in that weight division, right? And so it's like I think a lot of his comeback is a little more ego driven. I don't get that same vibe from like a Khabib. Khabib seems like a more measured, more calculated kind of cat.
Yeah.
Well, usually McGregor is arrogant.
I'm not saying arrogant.
No, he is.
He's the definition of arrogant.
But that's why he sells, though, too. People love it and hate it.
Yeah.
So Conor is down to 10, and Poirier was 3. Justin Gaethje.
I thought he was 2.
Gaethje was 2. He was the number 2 contender. Which it said 4 next to Conor's name, which doesn't make any sense.
It said 2 and 4.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which doesn't make any sense. So
I don't think you're looking at that right.
Well, in that Justin, he stayed neutral.
Yes, I know. Yeah,
Even before the fight, it was one.
Justin Gaethje lost to Khabib in October. That's when Khabib retired. So
Khabib's got nothing left to prove, really.
he doesn't.
29-0. Yeah.
GSP.
Kinda.
GSP lost though.
Did he? Who did he lose to? Great knowledge.
Don't ask me questions.
I don't think the mic got it. Could you say that again?
I know it wasn't Nick Diaz.
I'm looking forward to the next fight card, though. After
26
that might bring some more fans just that fight card.
But wait classes.
He weighs more than.
I didn't say.
He was at like the 170, 180-ish
Okay.
range.
So, yeah, I mean, I definitely was in the UFC back in the day, back in high school and early college days.
When you were a hard ass?
No, I never had it. Don't worry, I never wore the Affliction shirt.
It was the American Fighter shirt.
Yes.
It's tap out. It's tap out.
Yeah, didn't have one of those either. But yeah, I mean, I definitely watched a lot of fights. It was, I had a couple buddies where their parents would, get the fights and we'd all go over there and watch it. And it was just more of a hangout thing. And then it turned into, we did it every single week and it was awesome. And I got out of it for a good 10 years probably. And in fact, the past 6 months I've definitely been wanting to get back into it. And it's
the past 3 days I've been really getting into it.
we've got, I think I bought the fights probably 3 or 4 times this year and from 2020 till now.
Well, it's a
and they
super-
cut him off for 6 months or whatever.
Yeah.
It's a super fun sport to follow. The hardest part is just everything. The good stuff is locked behind pay-per-view, right? So
Yeah.
it's like, that's the hardest part about it. So it's tough to be even more casual with it. It seems like you got to be all in or all, or you just kind of miss what's going on.
Well, the good thing about our fans that listen to our podcast, anybody that listens to the podcast gets an invite
Oh,
to pay-per-view when I choose to buy it.
I like it. Oh,
So
the Bogies Bishop special.
Bogies Bishop Special.
Brought to you by.
Also,
that's a
Just
yeah.
contact the YouTube channel for your registration. Beer Guts Sports Nuts, all one word, all Z's.
Except for the beginning of sports.
Also, if you plug in an antenna into your TV, you get free channel 3, 6, and 7, and 42. And for the Iowa listeners, you'll get channel 8, 5, and something else. So that's on us. Just as long as you plug in the antenna. Use subscription code Beer Guts.
Don't forget where you heard it.
That was good. I like that.
Beautiful. Hey, great transition beer crackers.
Yeah, well, I'm in here for something. I like getting a little bit of the Tank 7 with the Busch Light mixture.
All right.
The BS
So
conspiracy.
we're going to
corner.
the BS Conspiracy Corner with your boy, Brett Stakey, BS. So there's a couple odd ones, some old school conspiracy theories in here. We got, the first one is probably the strangest. Anne Hathaway's husband is actually William Shakespeare. So she shares the name with the historical figure's actual wife. So either her husband, Adam Schulman, I guess, might be Shakespeare reincarnated, or they made a deal. Shakespeare would be famous in their past life, and Hathaway would be famous in this life. So basically, the only reason they're saying this is she has the same name as Shakespeare's wife.
I like it.
I just think it's weird if they did the trading, I'll be famous this life, you be famous the next life. There was like 50 generations in between Shakespeare and Hathaway. So how many lives did Shakespeare just kept going, yeah, I'll be famous this time. Yeah, I'll be Abe Lincoln. I'll be famous. Like, hey, asshole, I want to be famous for once. And now she's finally
I'd
famous.
rather be famous in this lifetime than back in the day when
Well, yeah, so many more Twitter
you
followers.
didn't even have toilet paper yet.
Yeah, they didn't have
That's the big
DMs.
thing.
But
You got hands.
But think about it.
Shakespeare.
Back then,
The days are ancient technology.
back then, like if you were famous, you were famous. Now everybody's famous, right? We're about to be famous.
Wow.
It's but like everyone's got everyone's got their OnlyFans account and everyone's got their Twitter and everything else.
Well, they're famous with 10,000 people.
But yeah, but percentage wise, that's way bigger.
Yeah,
than
they probably only saw 10,000 people in their entire life back in the day. Most of them were dying from malaria or some shit.
There was only
I'd rather be
a
famous.
couple hundred million
Yeah, I mean-
people in the world, and now there's 7 billion.
And the chicks are a lot more attractive nowadays than back in
I'm
whenever.
really into long dresses, though.
I'm sure you.
This is kind of an old conspiracy theory. I know it. I'm sure you guys have never heard it. Katy Perry is the slain child pageant star JonBenet Ramsey. Do you guys know her?
I do not.
She was. Well, you guys don't know who JonBenet is? Oh my god. Well, she was like a really famous kid pageant star back in the 90s, and she got murdered, allegedly. Listen to this. Even though this is so old, most people will know this one. Theory states instead of being murdered, she went into hiding from 1996 to 2008, and then she wrote the hit song I Kissed a Girl under the name Katy Perry. And actually, if you look at it, JonBenet Ramsey and Katy Perry look pretty similar, and I'm shocked you don't know who JonBenet Ramsey is, especially you, Kramer. You were like 20 during this, back in the 90s.
So a young pageant girl got killed, and we're supposed to know about this.
Well, it was like one of the more famous stories in the 90s there was.
Look it up, Crandy.
But anyway, yeah, JonBenet Ramsey was pretty well known. especially in the, I guess, I guess we're not big kid pageant
I see.
stuff. But, I mean, that was still pretty well known.
I can see.
She's too blonde.
Well, and the thing is, with the murder, the
To be
parents,
Katy Perry.
the parents acted really weird during the murder. Like,
She died
there was
on
just
Christmas.
Yeah, there was too many
that
things
sucks.
that added up where the parents acted really sketchy about it.
There is a little bit of resemblance.
Yeah,
It's tough to tell with age.
Yeah.
And also nose jobs and
Well, also she was 6,
Well,
and Katy Perry's not 6.
Katy Perry's older than 32.
No, and that's the thing. That's
You
where.
think stars are truthful about their age?
she does look
Well,
younger.
But that's one of those that I can't believe you didn't know anything about.
What happened?
Well, somebody snuck into their house allegedly
Santa?
and murdered her. But it is weird, even beyond the Katy Perry thing. Like, the parents were really weird during the investigation,
I've got homework.
and they're convinced either the parents murdered her or the brother murdered her, or she wrote "I kissed a girl." So,
It's one of those.
When in doubt, choose C.
and kind of along the lines of weird stuff and big 90s stories, and I'm sure you guys have heard this, Khloe Kardashian is probably O.J. Simpson's daughter, which I think this one actually has some legitimacy to it, because I guess her mom, not her new mom, but the mom, the actual mom.
Your mommy?
Yeah. Well, kid, but I don't know her stupid name. But she's a Kardashian. Anyway, apparently her and OJ and all the Kardashians and the Simpsons were pretty close. And I guess, obviously, since being such close friends and being famous, they probably hooked up at some point. And I guess there's just a bunch of backing information where Khloe Kardashian resembles OJ or something, and she refuses to take an IQ test, a DNA test.
That might determine it too.
Yeah. But like, she refuses to take a DNA test, and OJ's claiming that's his daughter, and it's just kind of a messy.
So she doesn't know she's
Situation.
100% that bitch, huh?
Yeah, she's not 100% Kardashian. She's possibly Simpson. So that's kind of interesting, I guess. I mean, I want to claim O.J. Simpson as my dad. That's like claiming Freddie.
She doesn't
That's my dad.
He didn't do it though.
Well,
The glove did.
that's about as real as us becoming famous.
So we're getting famous.
And actually,
We're on the verge.
keeping kind of along the lines of the Kardashians, I talk about the Kardashians a lot, apparently. This one, actually, I was kind of surprised. This is an actual story. Travis Barker from Blink-182, again, is dating Kourtney Kardashian, and they started a low-key, fairly new relationship. And they're currently in Palm Springs together, and they've dated 2 months. They once were good friends, and now they're romantically involved. I was kind of shocked. Travis Barker does not seem like he'd be into the Kardashians, but apparently he's been into her for quite some time. So not only are they into rappers and NBA players, now they're into punk drummers. So
So now he's made it. He's with a Kardashian.
Yeah.
Imagine what you do with those hands. And feet, probably.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. And then just the last thing, which I think we all kind of forgot, and I only remembered today. This is I don't know why I sound like I'm crying, because believe me, this is actually a sad thing, but I'm not crying. This is the 1 year, well, that's kind of a mean intro to this, because this is actually sad. But this is the 1 year anniversary of Kobe and Gianna's death, which I honestly thought was in February. And I hate to bring the mood down, but I really did think it was in February. But I just remember, like, it doesn't seem that long ago.
It doesn't.
And I remember being at Goodwill, we bought a couch and seeing my phone. I was like, what the? I thought it was bullshit, honestly, the first time I got it from ESPN.
Well, yeah,
So it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, we, Suri and I were laying in bed, and just, I don't remember if it was her or mine. Someone came up and said, it looks like there's reports that Kobe died in a plane crash. I'm like, And I was like, there's no way. But then I was like, that's way too specific for it to be like a false claim. Like,
especially from ESPN.
Yeah.
And he's one of them guys that you like him, you don't like him. He's like seems invincible though. Like,
exactly.
Kobe Bryant's not gonna die in a helicopter. Like it just
So soon after retiring.
Yeah. And I mean, that was what, a day after LeBron passed him on the scoring list? Like,
yeah, it was,
and he was there. And I was like, what the? Yeah, that was kind of a crazy.
Well, I mean, I hated Kobe growing up. Hated him.
Same.
And then LeBron came around. I'm like, all right, I got somebody else I got to hate instead. And so I started hating LeBron and started liking Kobe, like the back half of Kobe's career. Once he changed to 24. Like, that's when I liked Kobe. So I hated number 8, loved number 24. And yeah, so like it was.
He cheated on his fiance.
No, 24 knew me all day.
He didn't do it.
Yeah.
No,
The Office. He didn't do it. He might have done it.
It's tough for basketball to lose a legend like that so soon into retirement. There's a lot that I'm sure he was planning on doing for the game, and it sounded like he was still a workaholic even after.
Yeah, he was big for the girls basketball, women's basketball,
WNBA, and
all.
He ran. I mean, because he had 3 girls.
His daughter was a beast.
Yeah, well, he had 3 girls, and so I think because of that, he started, moving his education over to the women's side because, like, I want to build a great thing for my girls to come into, and the all-time leading scorer in college women's basketball that just went to the NBA.
Oregon.
I paused that, but I can't remember her name. She played at Oregon.
Yes.
Yeah. I thought you said Morgan. Yeah.
The blonde one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I keep wanting to say Sabrina, but I can't think of her name.
She's not as well. That's funny because when I couldn't think of your wife's name, her name was Sabrina. I was mixing it up. That's funny.
But yeah, so
that's different. But.
And then they're just with all those camps and stuff, and yeah, I mean he was doing a lot for a lot of people, and like I mean you how many stars, or not even necessarily stars, but a player that makes less, or even less than from $3 to $5 million in their career. That's enough to live off of for the rest of your life.
If you invest it right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even if you don't, if you just have $3 to $5 million and you go out and buy a $200,000-$300,000 house and live by like within your means, you could literally do that forever.
That's your Midwest showing.
Absolutely. Don't. Yeah.
Maybe not Los Angeles.
Move to the Midwest. That's a great place. So yeah, for all of our LA listeners out there,
LeBron, please. But yeah, I just saw it on ESPN, and as much as last year sucked and how it seemed we were spending countless hours at home and it was boring, I can't believe how fast last year went, because there was a couple of things where I was like, what? That feels like a month ago. Yeah. But
I mean, it sucks because nobody knew that was going to be the start of the shitty year.
Yeah, and that's what we thought was going to be one of the worst things of the year, which is kind of crazy in hindsight. But
think that again.
That's one of the few times we'll end on a solemn note for the BS Conspiracy Corner. But that is it for that. Now we will... sorry, I saw that note, and I want to talk about that too.
Go ahead.
That I don't know if I'm stealing your thing, but the Kodak Black got pardoned.
Let's go!
And Joe Exotic did not. I just saw that, and that's the one thing I forgot to talk about.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. I am kind of surprised Joe Exotic didn't get pardoned.
A little bit.
Well, out of the 73 or whatever, he thought maybe he would, but I guess it was just Trump's. It was all Trump's buddies. Him and Joe weren't as close as he thought they were.
The meme started too early. If it was later in the year, then he would have gotten pardoned.
Yeah, he wasn't in the anymore.
What a great end to a 4-year amazing career.
The whole government was a meme. Anyway, that's another conversation.
I mean, it doesn't really, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter too much because give it probably 12 months and Kodak will be back in prison on more gun charges because that just seems to be his cadence. Love the man, love his music, but man, he cannot stay out of legal trouble.
If he moves to the Midwest, he could have all the guns he wants.
And honestly, I think...
Probably not, because I'm pretty sure he's a convicted felon.
Or Texas.
Lil Wayne shouldn't have been pardoned because now he's going to come out with more music. And Lil Wayne and Eminem are at the point now, it's like, can you just quit?
Yeah.
You've done it. And I think that's how a lot of people feel about Tom Brady. You've done it, just quit.
Yeah.
But it's
I don't think he'll just never be able to kind of approach the peak that he wants.
Ever since he tried skateboarding and played guitar solo, he should have just quit.
I just felt
That was the end.
authentic. Yeah, it's like
Ever since the Prom Queen song, that's when I knew he gave up.
I don't disagree. I think you're about on point with that.
Anyway, we can move it along. I just saw that. We're going to talk about that quick.
So after our last week's little gambling session, we had a couple winners, had a couple losers there. Kramer barely beat me, 4 bets to 1.
It's all because I stole that Bills pick from him.
That's right. And I contradicted myself when I guaranteed the Packers were going to win by 6.5, and then I took the Packers to lose by 6.5, or to not cover 6.5. Anyway, so we got Kramer and Trevor won the first week. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna have a little 10-week season, and we'll do some winners and losers, and at the end of it we'll have a winner's prize and a loser's prize.
And the structure for each week, let me just see if I've got this right, is so every week we rotate winners face winners, losers face losers.
That is correct. So this week Kramer and Trevor will be facing off, and then myself and Brett will be facing off. So Brett and I the standings sit. Kramer and Trevor sitting up top at 1-0, and Brett and myself are sitting at the bottom at 0-1. Yeah, well, it's a long season. It's a long season.
It's early.
Now you're going down. It's about how you start, not how you finish. That's what I've heard.
That's right.
That's what she said.
So, with a little bit of lack of football anymore, we're gonna switch over to some main college basketball games this week, and we'll do a tiebreaker with the AFC NFC Pro Bowl. So with that being said, our games chosen are going to be the Pro Bowl will be the tiebreak, Alabama versus OU, Iowa at Illinois, Kansas at Tennessee, and Virginia at Virginia Tech. These are all ranked games. We are not taking any spreads, but we will be taking a winner.
Straight up.
Straight up, absolutely. We'll do a little
Old school.
Let's see what you got, and starting. We'll go ahead and let you guys start off here. So we did it.
Takes out.
We did no. We'll let you guys go. You guys did your coin flip,
This
right?
is predetermined. So Joe, aka Trevor, aka T-Doggy Shafe, you have the first pick.
Yeah, I'm going Bama over Oklahoma.
Wow. You don't want to get risky with it?
Sure.
Wow.
Hey, basketball, Bama usually is risky, so.
Well, then I guess that leaves me. Ooh, I can't side with that jabroni across the table.
I'm sure you can. It's the good call.
No,
It's the good call.
I'm taking Virginia over Virginia Tech.
If I was going to pick that one, I was going to go underdog with Tech. But
Well, you get what you want there. I'm a man of the people.
okay. Well, I'm going to go Tennessee at home and then beat KU. KU is down this year.
Yeah. And just so I don't have to pick it, I'm taking NFC in the tiebreaker Pro Bowl
Ooh.
because I'd just rather you pick and I take the other side of the basketball.
I thought the Pro Bowl was the automatic tiebreaker, but I guess.
You can take your pick.
So my pick is going to defer to Kramer. You can pick this.
Fine, I'll do it. I won't be happy about it. I will take the jabroni ass Iowa boys.
Let's go. Good pick.
Over Illinois.
Good pick.
I want Illinois.
Put me down for it.
Who did you pick for the Pro Bowl?
I got NFC. I'm an NFC boy.
Okay. Yeah, so am I, but I think AFC is going to win.
So moving on to Brett and Zach here. We are going to. I won the coin toss, so I'm gonna start off. I'm gonna take actually. I want to take Virginia to start off.
Nice.
Wow.
Well, just because it's
They do the pick.
them boys. I will be picking Illinois over Iowa all day.
Bold. I like
Not bold, smart as hell.
That's what I went for.
We're gonna go Bama over OU.
And for me, I'm gonna go Tennessee over Kansas. Unfortunately, during the Big 12 SEC.
And for the tiebreaker, just so I have a tiebreaker over Kramer, I'm going AFC.
Stop.
All right, so to follow that up, Trevor is taking Bama and Tennessee and taking Iowa. Actually,
Wait, what?
yeah.
That's wrong.
Huh?
Trevor's not taking Iowa.
No, Kramer.
Trevor?
I took.
Oh, yeah, because you guys changed. I had Trevor's name already written in there. My bad. Cut that last part off.
Nope.
Check it.
We need a new data guy.
Yeah, we did.
Check.
Well, when you threw the change up and switched over to it messed me up.
Is that legal? Can I do that?
He sounds like Jim Rome. Check that.
Do we got enough funding for an intern?
Yeah, interns are free.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Suit it up.
Only dogs can do interns.
See, I can't even be mad about this week. I got all the picks that I wanted. So,
Well.
Yeah, I got Illinois over
I'm like,
Iowa.
even if I'm all wrong, like it's my fault. Because
Well, and I'm not 15 beers deep when we start making picks. I think that helps a little bit.
No, I enjoyed it. You went 2 for 3 or 2v3.
So, I got a tie break.
Yeah, you got the tiger. That was the important.
That's all that matters. Got the UFC winner.
Got what you have now.
Well, hey, this is
Beer Guts, Sports Nuts.
signing off. Episode 2. Thanks for listening.
Be sure to follow us on Twitter at BGS Nuts or add us on Facebook at
BGS Nuts. It's at BGS Nuts.
Oh, on Twitter?
I think I messed that up. Is there no Z on Twitter?
Singular Nuts.
Follow us on Twitter at BGS Nut or add us on Facebook. You can find us at Beer Guts Sports Nuts. Beer Guts is one word with a Z. Sports Guts is one word with 2 Z's.
And they're all.
I'm just gonna spell it out. Jesus Christ.
It'll be in the description below.
Add us on Facebook. You can find it.
Add us on Twitter.
Say description below.
Add us on Facebook.
Add us on Facebook and Twitter in the description below.
I'm not cutting a single damn thing.